and welcome back to another All Heart video. Today I have a fun video for you and it is all about Montessori inspired activities for Valentine's Day. So these are going to be so much fun for you to be able to recreate at home with your little ones. So with that, let's go ahead and get started on today's video. So the very first activity is our chocolate fudge Play-Doh recipe. So the first thing we're going to do is mix in all of our dry ingredients. The first thing being 2 tablespoons of cream of tartar. The second ingredient is a 1/4 cup of salt. Our third ingredient is a 1/3 cup of cocoa, followed by 1 cup of all-purpose flour. The next thing you want to do is just take your time to really mix all of the dry ingredients together. The next thing that you want to do is transfer all of the newly mixed dry ingredients onto your cooking pan. Next, for all of our wet ingredients, you're going to need 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and 1 full cup of cold water. Transfer that all over to your stove on low heat. You want to take your time and really stir all of the ingredients together until they really become one. You're going to notice that as you continue to mix the mixture, it is going to look like it is very, very sticky, and you're going to want to add more flour, but don't. Trust me, as soon as the liquid and moisture that is inside of all of the mixture dries, it's going to be the perfect consistency. So just continue to stir, although it is going to be a little bit tougher, but once it starts to solidify and form more of this doughy consistency, that's when you know that you are nearly done. From here, leave it for about 1 more minute on very low heat to just release a little bit of more moisture, and then you can transfer it over to a baking sheet. I like to place it on a flat baking sheet and just press it down just to make it into a pretty thin layer, and that's just going to help it cool a lot faster. And now to the fun part where my children got to decorate all of their beautiful desserts. So I wanted to include as many materials as I could for them to be able to use, from beads that appear like sprinkles to cookie cutters to their little rolling pin to even silicone cupcake holders. Smell good? Smells like chocolate?
Yeah.
I even included this little cake pop stand with their little cake pop sticks so that they could create their own little fudge brownie cake pops. And for when they were all done with their desserts, I even included little baggies that they could decorate so that they could really put the finishing touches on all of their beautiful desserts. For our next activity, we were going to be repurposing some crayons. So the first thing you want to do is set your oven to 275 degrees and just wait for it to heat up while you work on the very next step. The next thing you want to do is remove all of the little paper wrappings off of the crayons. We found that it was a lot easier to remove all of the wrappings if you soaked all of the crayons in really warm water for just a few minutes, and then they just slipped off so much easier. The next thing you want to do is use either a silicone mold or muffin tins or even cookie cutters to place all of the broken pieces of crayons that you have, and all of these solid pieces that you have, you want to go ahead and cut those into very, very small sizes into the color coordination that you want. I do suggest that if you are using a silicone mold, to place it on top of a baking tray. That makes it a lot easier for you to transfer it in and out of the oven. Place it into the oven and let it cook for about 7 to 11 minutes. We found that 10 minutes was the perfect time, but again, your oven could be much different, so just make sure that you keep an eye on it until it fully melts. Remove it from the oven and place it somewhere to cool. I suggest leaving it out for at least half an hour. If you want to, you can also place it inside of the refrigerator, and that will make it solidify and harden that much faster. This is the perfect science activity to illustrate reversible change and physical change. There are two types of changes called reversible change and irreversible change. Melting crayons, like melting ice, is a great example of reversible change. Reversible change occurs when something is melted or frozen, for example, but the change can also be undone, just like with our crayons. They were melted and reformed into new crayons. Although the crayons have changed shape, they didn't undergo a chemical process to become a new substance. The crayons are still crayons. While I was busy working on the other activity and making sure that everything was set up for that one, I just gave my daughter some felt pipe cleaners and I had her string some of the beads through. This was perfect for her hand and eye coordination and for helping her fine motor skills. It definitely kept her occupied, and that way that gave me all the time that I needed to prepare the very next activity for you guys. So the next activity that we are working on is another sensory activity, because those are just the most fun, and I feel like they're just the most engaging, especially if you have like toddlers at home. So all that you're going to need are heart-shaped balloons, just like this one, and we are going to be filling them with supplies that you have at home, mostly dried food products. So like lentils, beans, rice, quinoa, stuff like that. So I'm going to show you a few different examples of what I'm going to use to fill these up, and you want to fill them up in pairs. So if I fill this balloon up with rice, then I want another pair to also be filled with rice. That way when they feel them, then they're going to be able to match the two balloons that feel the same. So let's get started on this project. For the life of me, I could not find my small funnels, so I basically had to make one out of half of an envelope, but this worked just the same way. Again, a parent's got to do what a parent's got to do, but this ended up working up just fine. So these are the 12 sensory hearts that I made for my kiddos. I did have to end up using some liquid in some of them just because it made it easier for my daughter to be able to identify which was the pair. But these were so much fun, and my son had such a blast just feeling the different hearts and trying to identify which one was the matching pair. And that is it for this video. I really do hope that you enjoyed all of the activities that we were able to work on today. And if you do happen to recreate some of these with your family, make sure that you tag us at allhartsocialmedia. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Make sure to like this video, make sure to subscribe, and remember to ring that notification bell so that you never miss out on any upcoming videos. Thank you guys again for watching, and we will see you guys very, very soon.